These are random video clips of Colombia from many different YouTube channels. This part is about 10 minutes long, but I stopped talking before it is done. I kept it all because I figured that you might like to see beautiful women. Plus, they say that for 2 people, and to raise a family, it costs $1,200 United States dollars to live in Colombia. And this includes food, rent, water, electricity, gas and transportation. All of it. The title of this video is called Passport Brothers Do Not Let Them Scare You Part 2. In Part 1, I talked about all the men I personally know that married women from overseas and what happened when they moved back to the United States. They are all very happily married. However, many videos have said not to bring your foreign wife back to the United States because she will become like the women here. The women in the United States will corrupt your wife and make her like all the women here. I said that this is not true unless she was scamming you from the start. I base this on all the men I know that have married women from overseas and then moved back to the United States. I know men that married foreign women back in the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s, 1990s and within the last 10 years. All are very happily married. However, I now realize what they all have in common. What these men have in common is that they are not black men. The black men I personally know moved far away from the women in their family. This is the trick. My old high school girlfriend, who is named Pam, is Japanese and black, and her parents met in the 1960s. However, her parents are from California, and she grew up in Illinois. One of my college girlfriends was named Joy. Her mother is Thai, and her father is black. Her father is from Michigan, but Joy grew up in Arizona. My high school male friend, who is black, is named James, and he was in the army. But when he got out of the military, he did not move back to Chicago. Instead, James and his German wife moved to Seattle, Washington. Another one of my college girlfriend's father is black, and her mother is German. Her father is from Ohio, but she grew up in Arizona. My friend Dave married a woman from China 10 years ago. Dave's mother is white, and his father is black. But because his father was adopted, he never knew his father's side of the family. So the trick is that if you marry a woman from overseas or a woman from a different race, do not bring her around the black women in your family. This includes your mother. Especially your mother. The video clip I will show supports what I have said. This is not a Kevin Samuel video, but in some of his videos he has said that the current problem started to develop in the black community is when the women were introduced to feminism. Mr. Kevin Samuel also said that this took place in the late 1960s. Thus, with the baby boomer generation or the people born after World War II. I think he is 100% right. I will show what he said about this in a future video. Plus, in my opinion, where feminism has an influence, the men in these countries have problems with their women. It also seems like where feminism has taken place, has resulted in an increase in single mothers. I would really like to know what you think. I know the men that live in Central and South America, such as Argentina and Chile, said that they have the same problems with their women as the men in the United States have with our women. When I was 8 years old, my family moved from a black area of Chicago to a white area of Chicago. So one would expect that when I got older, I would date or get into relationships with white girls. Yet, most of the women in my family had a lot of problems with me dating or being in relationships with females outside my race. They had so many problems that even when I was not dating or did not have a girlfriend, they still gave me hell about dating white women. It is so bad that if I mention a white female celebrity, they will get an angry look on their face. When I was looking for a job, I would not be told about a potential employer calling, because the women in my family thought it was a white girl calling me. This is what my mother and aunt said to me. When I did bring a white girl I was dating in high school around my female cousins, some of them said to me, out of the blue, unexpectedly, that she is not that pretty. So I knew since high school to never bring any woman I was dating or in a relationship with around the women in my family. Plus, if I have children, there is no way I will bring my children around my family. I will not expose my children to their verbal, emotional or psychological abuse. However, neither one of my grandmothers had a problem with me dating or getting in a relationship with women outside my race. The reason why could be because they were born between 1900 and 1920. Before feminism took place. I have a black male friend named Jerome. Jerome married a white woman, and they had 2 little girls. However, he lives in Iowa, and his mother lives here in Chicago. And every time he comes to Chicago, he never brings his wife or kids with him. He always leaves them in Iowa. Jerome said that whenever he talks to his mother on the phone from Iowa, his mother would say things like the following. Your wife is racist. Your wife does not respect me. His mother will invent and say anything negative she can think of about his wife. Since his mother can no longer reach his wife, she is going after Jerome. The people in my family know that I plan to move overseas, and one of the countries I mention is the Philippines. During the last holiday, at a family party, a woman named Wanda, who used to babysit me when I was 5 years old. She told us that her brother lives in the Philippines and has been married to a Philippines woman for 20 years. She said that it is not a real marriage, and her brother's wife is more like his caretaker. These women are sick in the head. They are disgusting.
So, when you first get married, you're having a culture clash naturally, and there's people that you want to lean on, you want to confide in. Well, my wife thought my mom would be that person. Like, my husband best, so I just want to give him what he needs. So this is the problem we're having, bruh. My mother, my mother pulled her to the side and was like, "Look, girl, this is what you do. When you need him to do something, don't give him none until he does it." Don't give them none. Now,
She said that? What?
this is my mother. And I was like, yo, this is the type of things like brothers go through that I hear about. She told my wife that. My wife was like, don't give them what? Really? Like, did you just tell me that? Yeah.
Can't believe this.
Like, don't give them none.
Your own mom said that to your future wife.
Yeah.
I can't believe it.
So I was like, that changed the dynamic of our of me and my mother's relationship, my whole family. Once I learned that, I was like, okay. I was being gaslit as a child. I knew something was wrong. And that proved it. That opened my wife's eyes about what a lot of black men go through. That's manipulation and control. She was trying to teach my wife that. And actually evil. Like, you're going to deprive me of love, physical love, because you want me to, give in to your demands instead of talking. Luckily, my wife is Asian, and even if you're in the doghouse, you're gonna get it anyway. So,
bro, it sounds like to me your mom was trying to sabotage your relationship with your South Korean woman. Maybe she didn't like maybe she hated the fact that you went with a black woman that was American, and she tried to sabotage your relationship with her. Do you feel that way, brother?
Yeah, it was I can tell you, it's definitely sabotage. A lot of she sprinkle in some seeds of doubt to my wife. A lot of American men that they marry foreign women, and then but they'll always end up going back to American women. Just anytime she had a chance, and this is real talk. Anytime she had a chance, it was a seed of doubt. But then I realized, through all my relationships. Every relationship I had, my mom was there to try to tear things up. I spoke to my mom the other day, and she said, you know what? Black men, they really let us down. And I said, hold that thought. I said, let's agree to disagree. I don't need your explanation. Hold that thought. I'm gonna get off the phone, all right? This is how she feels. She's in that generation. She was born in 1963. So she's right at the edge of Jim Crow. Then sisters kick brothers out. That's the generation. So she has no respect for black men. It means she has no respect for me. She had 3 boys, so she don't respect her husband. Told me that too. So I was like, okay, I'm keeping my wife away. This is why you should go to where your wife is from. Stay over there, because that's not the first time my wife has heard things like that. A lot of sisters came in. I hate to generalize, because white women do it too, and they spread that garbage to each other. These lonely, pathetic women. I said lonely and pathetic women. They try to spread it like a disease.
The video clip you just watched is from the YouTube channel called International Passport. I will put a link to the original video in the description. I want to say one more thing before I end this video. The man in the video clip said that his mother was teaching his wife how to manipulate him. When a person uses manipulation tactics, it says that they think you are stupid, dumb, and that they think they are smarter or better than you. As Mr. Kevin Samuel has said in many of his videos, black women think they are better than black men. Plus, when a person uses manipulation tactics, it also says that the person has a lack of respect, a lack of consideration, lack of caring, and does not genuinely care about what you want or need. And this is not love.